I've taught a course on the structure of surahs in the Quran. It's called Heavenly Order, which was a play on words, right? Because the order is heavenly, and Allah put orders in the book that are heavenly, right? So heavenly order. But uh, in it, I explained the three different ways you can appreciate the structure of surahs in the Quran. I'm only highlighting at the ends of these lectures the kind of the literary structure, but there are two other ways, and those two other ways are the sequence, meaning 1 2 3 4 5. How are they logically flowing? Right. We're going to do that. We did that a little kind of in passing, but I didn't kind of dedicate myself to that. I wanted to show you the literary kind of almost symmetrical structures in the surah first. And then the other component of this is anchors. Another way of looking at it is anchors. Anchors means there are terms in a surah that are related. So children, for example, became an anchor in the surah, right? Or the word Allah, in fact, the word Allah itself is an anchor in the surah. It recurs at key moments. Or Allah's knowledge is an anchor. Or the hidden and the seen, right? That's an anchor. These are anchors in the surah. These themes, they keep emerging. Either literally the word or the concept keeps emerging, popping up over and over and over again, binding all of its messages together, right? So, but the structural analysis, this is something that I was fascinated with for many, many years, because I came from a tech background and I started studying the Quran, and I found my first impression of the Quran to be, I can't understand how it's organized, right? And then the first thought you get is maybe it's not organized, right? And then you read tafsir, and the tafsir doesn't emphasize its organization. They emphasize the commentary on a particular ayah. So again, it's reinforcing there is no organization. But then I was like, there's no way the one, Hamiduddin Farahi said it so beautifully, there's no way the one who organized every bone in my body didn't organize his own speech. Right? That's how he said it. You know, he the one who organized every vein of every leaf on every tree didn't organize his own speech. I find that unfathomable. Right? So he talked about this structure in the Quran. Some people in our history took that subject up. When I prepare for a surah, the first thing I actually do before I read any commentary is read the surah literally dozens and dozens, sometimes hundreds of times, before a pattern emerges to me. Sometimes it's much easier, but sometimes it just takes time before it emerges. And then I try to test it against a couple of other students of mine and other writers that have talked about structure in the Quran, and see if their argument, their case for the organization is a better case than mine. You know? And in this case, you'll see, tomorrow you'll see that the sections I identified, I'm more convinced of my division. But the overview of the entire surah, I'm more convinced of one of my students' divisions. And I'll share the distinction between the two tomorrow too. And so there's that study. Then there's the study of the relationship between surahs and how they interact with each other, which is even more, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And I'm not the only one working on this. There's actually hundreds of people that have done some amazing work in this space. And they're all just really contributing really beautifully. Javed Qureshi, I think his name is, he wrote a paper on Surat Yusuf. It is mind-blowing. I did a PowerPoint presentation on it. If you look in my lectures on Surat Yusuf, it is, you will, like, how can you pay attention to that and not say it's the word of God? I don't understand. Like, seriously.